That's a long tail on that delay. Yeah, so Ableton simpler. I'll hide the keyboard for now. So, but this one's gonna be about that. And I had this set up here, and instead of showing you what I've done, I'll just actually do it. It might sound a little bit different, but let's get to it. So what we need to do first to get Ableton simpler to do something like that is, of course, what the hell? Turn that off. Insert a MIDI track. There we go. So we have that. And then we go to instruments, and you'll have an instrument rack. And this one's also available on the light version. So everything I do here should be, you can do it on light, except for a few things I might be doing. But yeah, now we have the instrument rack there. We just, you know, picked it up, dragged it here, and we have that. And then what do we need then? We want simpler. And I'm also going to go through some of the settings in simpler and show you what can be done. And then I had this little audio recording because we need a sample here to be able to produce sound. Because now if I would try and play it with my keyboard, you know, it's receiving MIDI. I can see it there, but I can't hear anything. And that's because there's actually no sample there. So then we can pick up a sample from here. Or then what we can do is this, just for fun. So we're gonna record a little clip. Halalala, halalala, halalala. There we go. Now we'll pick our simpler track, and we'll just drag that sample over here. And now if I would play it, it would sound like this. Well, I'm gonna raise up the volume a bit. So if I go up on the keyboard, it will it will play like that. I mean, that's something you could use also if you'd like, and if it sounds good. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna be on the classic mode here, and there's a few other, but we're just keeping it like this. And we're gonna zoom in on the sample. So now, and you just pick it up and drag it, and now it's just going to play this portion of the. Alright, that's fun, but that's not what we want. So we want even, you know, we want to get even closer. So, and that we can do just by clicking on with the left and then dragging up or down. So let's get a really, really small portion of the sample. Okay, so now we have that sort of sound, you know. It sounds percussive, I would say. So what do we do now? Here is what we do. The loop. Let's click that. So now we have a synth, essentially. Alright, and we can tune it. Alright, so now we have that. I mean, that could work. especially if we would use the reverb and sends we have. You know, you have your synth there, but we're gonna go a bit further. And here's another thing you can try out if you want. You can take the snap that is on, you can take that off. And then you could, oh, and I'm gonna increase the gain of the, a bit, not that much. So now we could go here and tweak these settings. And tune like that. I'm gonna do that, and then fade. So yeah, that's something you can do also, but I'll leave the snap on for now, and then I'll give it a bit more, you know, just make it, I think, a bit more complex with the voices. Alright, so what do we do now? We have that. Let's bring up the release. So you have your basic ADSR. If you don't know what those mean, you can always click here, and then you can actually read the info again. So the info view is your friend here as well. You can go over any parameter you see here and just you know, read up on the info view, and it will tell you what it does. And we can actually hear also. So when I increase the release, now when I, let me get the view of the keyboard. So yeah, so it will leave, you know, it will take a long time for the notes to ring out. And now when it's lower, it's gonna be yeah. So I'm gonna drag that, have a little bit of release, and then attack, of course. So like it said on the info view, it's gonna take a longer time to reach the full volume when I press the keys, so I have to keep them pressed and it will go up in volume till it reaches the, you know, highest point. So that's what the attack does, and you can figure out the rest. Alright, and another cool thing here, we have some controls. Alright, so we have a basic filter, Alpha, and then this amplitude envelope, and you can assess it by clicking here, or then you can actually click this one, this little circle, and now you can see your sample here, and these controls are down here. And filter, of course, let's hear it. So that's what it does. And then let's hear what the LFO does. So let's put it on pitch and get it up there. So that's pretty easy to hear. And you can also control the volume with the LFO, so you can make a tremolo. There we go. And in here you can make it faster or slower, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, you can mess around with those as well. But then now that we've like checked the basics of the simpler, and you can't really break it, so just mess around with it, find something you like, you know. I ain't gonna like I ain't gonna explain these in this one. We'll just stick to the classic, but you can use these ones as well. And you can, you know, always look up the manual also to see what they do. And you can get really deep with this. All right, so to achieve the sound I had, we need an MIDI effect. So we go here and we have an arpeggiator. There we go. Now let's turn that to 16s. There we go, the rate. Now when I press down the keys, there we go. I could actually just, there's a hold option, so I could click that on. And now if I would go, and it will just continue playing what I pressed. So that's pretty handy as well, fun thing. All right, get that bit. So yeah, and the arpeggiator, of course, it has a ton of features as well, and you know, so just mess around with it. You know, it would be a episode video of its own if I get onto this one as well. And then you could start adding like audio effects from here also to get a bit more, you know, just, you know, to make it fuller or, you know, well, anything. So let's take a chorus and just stick it in there. And that sounds lovely, you know. And of course, if you'd like, you could still mess around with the simpler and, you know, go there. So, and this is done with the stock plugins. And if we take off the arpeggiator, we have that. So really nice in either way. And yeah, that's what you can do with this. And then I'm actually gonna show just for fun in here. So what I did in the beginning when I was playing, I used my controller to control these macros you have on the instrument rack. And let's say I want to go here, and then I want to control this filter frequency. So I can make that by turning a knob here. So what I'll do is I'll go here on the frequency knob, right click and map to macro 1. Here we go. So now when I'm turning the knob on my controller, we can see the filter moving. So now when I play it, and then if I'd like, I could map this step of the arpeggiator to macro 2. There we go. So now when I would play, I could control that with my controller's knob. And then when you record that stuff, it actually records the automation as well. So that's pretty handy if you have a controller like this. And that will be another video, how to set up something, your MIDI keyboard. But what's nice about the instrument rack, and this will be the last thing I'll explain here, is this thing. So you can go here and click this, and the instrument rack can actually have as many, I think, instruments as you want. So we have our simpler one in here, and I'll actually rename it simpler one. So yeah, and then we can see it here. We can actually mute it over here. We can control its volume and the panning, and then we could actually assign the keys that will play this instrument. So we could, I'll show you how. So I'll just go here and click that. So now we can see that it would only play from keys F sharp to C -2. So that's why we're not hearing anything. I'm pressing keys after those. So, but now when there we go. So you can then, when you have two instruments here, you can assign one that will play only the bass notes, and the other one would play the higher notes. So you can do that. But oh, let's not do that. There we go. So now let's take another simpler. We choose it and drag it here. So now we have simpler 2. Rename it. Let's put the 2 in there. And then we're gonna take the same audio sample, just drag it here, drop it. Do the same thing again. So this will be a sped up, what do you call it? Put the loop on. And now we can hear it there, but of course it doesn't have the arpeggiator. So let's bring that in. There we go. And we can see the chain is different. So you actually, these are, when you do changes, they're done individually. So these are both like their own chains. So yeah, that's why we have to, if we want them both to be arpeggiated, we have to bring an arpeggiator in here too. And this one doesn't have the chorus. And now you need some tuning here, so you want them to sound good together. So this. All right, I'd say that sounds pretty nice. So let's, for fun, let's put the chorus in there as well. And what we could do, we could just take the arpeggiator off of this one, and then we would have this. I don't know if it sounds good, but you could probably make it work. You know. And what else? Well, yeah, now if we want to control the filter, we We do have it, the filter on the macro on simpler 1, but we don't have it on simpler 2, so we could map it. Map the frequency of the filter on the simpler 2 to macro 1 as well. So now they would both have the... Oh! What? What's happening here? It was a user error. And then we could take the arpeggiator off from both of those and we would have... There we go. So yeah, who needs widgets synths when you have a simpler on Ableton, you know? But yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff with that and the stock plugins, and then if you want to go crazy, you can just you know, like I said, you really can't break anything. You know, just keep your you know, volume levels down and all that when you try out things, and just go to town with it, as they say. Try out different things, and you'll probably find some cool sounding stuff. But that should get you going with the simpler. The crazy thing about that is, like I said, if we would then go the one-shot mode, we could do all sorts of percussive sounds and, you know, all that. So essentially, I could make a whole song with simpler, you know, all the sounds, and just by you know, making a stupid voice recording of myself and then sampling and clipping that. So yeah, simpler. Just, you know, add stuff, try out different things, and have fun with it, you know, and then make some music. But if you have any questions or anything like that, then I'll try and answer. You can leave them in the comments. All right, have fun. Bye.